Well, West Adelaide journeyed to Oval Avenue to play the Eagles with a poor record. They hadn't won since 2003 at the Woodville Oval. And certainly the Eagles, they made some early inroads on the scoreboard, but it wasn't, Rod Campbell, a very high-scoring game.
It wasn't, but it was one of the best exhibitions of fiercely competitive footy you'd ever see. It was a great example of that. The game it was on, we were on the edge of our seats from the start of the game until the end. Two teams just having a crack from the start, and only ended up one kick in it, which was worthy for this great game that we saw. In the second term, the Eagles did get it out to 18 points, and we thought that was kicking to the breeze to the right of screen there, and we thought, well, this is going to be a blowout, but Westies came back at them, worthy of their top position, no doubt about that. And then the Eagles, as you can see here, their work into the breeze was very effective at times as well. Yeah, I always had a thought, an inkling that Westies, and I think we did, that they might be able to come back, but the Eagles, through attrition of players, looked like they just wouldn't have enough players to run the game out, but they just wouldn't give up. They just played with their heart. Their skipper, Mark McKenzie, was outstanding early with 19 possessions in the first half, went off for nearly a quarter with what looked to be a dislocated finger, but then came back on and made the difference, and just an outstanding individual effort from him. Led the way, went down forward for the first time for the game and kicked an amazing goal in the last quarter that put his side within a kick, and they ended up winning the match. We see there with Shane Burse just picking the pocket and Davenport kicking the goal, and that brought it back to a 5-point game. That was halfway through the final term. This ball pops out, and somehow Matthew Goldsworthy eventually, after all this pressure play, gets his foot to the ball, and he puts the Eagles up by a point at this stage. So it was seesawing in the last quarter when there were 4 lead changes, but this was the winning goal. Scott Lewis, who kicked the first goal of the match, nails the winning goal 28 minutes into the final term. The ball back in the centre. There was barely 10 seconds left in the match. What a goal that was. Very important. As you see there, the Eagles did lead at every change. 6 points at quarter time, 10 points at half time, 10 points at three-quarter time, when they kicked 6 points in that third quarter to just the 1 goal for the Bloods. And then coming home, they were headed a couple of times, but the Eagles managed to get home by 5 points in what was a sensational game of SANFL footy. The match stats look like this. Yeah, incredible game of footy. The kicks and handballs ended up equal for both sides when you add them up. The inside 50s was the one area where the Eagles had it over Westies, but that's not unusual for Westies on top of the ladder but concede the most inside 50s. We see the centre breaks with the Eagles early, but they ended up pretty close, and in the end a fitting result was 1 kick. It went to the Eagles, and I think they were really worthy winners on the day.